It's Holland. What's good and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I will be re-evaluating my existence by changing some of the older K-pop unpopular opinions videos that I've previously said on this channel and giving some more unpopular opinions. But before we get into it, I recently posted a video in which you can submit all your questions about my Red Velvet astrology readings, a Yeri astrology birth chart reading, and a video comparing my favorite K-pop duo groups. So now let's get into the video. The first opinion I've changed my mind on was that Red Velvet needs more purely velvet concepts. I had this opinion during about Zimzalabim era, mainly because I was like most Rev loves and only appreciated Red Velvet for their velvet concepts, so when Red Velvet started to release red and red mixed with velvet concepts back to back, I was dying for anything to satisfy my hunger. But now I've learned to appreciate Red Velvet no matter what concept they do. Next was that I thought Stray Kids and TXT have the best chance of becoming the next big boy group in K-pop. I still agree when it comes to TXT, but I've changed my mind on Stray Kids because I feel like the way JYP manages them will be their biggest downfall. It honestly feels like he gives them a comeback every month, and a lot of newer fans may get overwhelmed with having to keep up with their concepts. Plus, at the rate that they keep getting into scandals involving cultural appropriation and anti-blackness, more and more fans will start to unstan them, or prevent the maximum number of future fans from standing them. So now my bets are on T's and TXT. Now I'll just be re-evaluating my favorite 4th gen rappers and vocalists. At first, I said Soyeon from G-idol was my favorite K-pop female rapper because she was one of the few 4th generation female rappers that not only had good diction and delivery, but also wrote her own lyrics. But I've lately been growing out of her because her nasally vocal color doesn't really appeal to me, and I feel like in the past I was forcing myself to like her rapping simply because she has good technique. Also, I'm not saying there's nothing inherently wrong with having a nasally vocal color because it's one of the few aspects of being a vocalist or rapper that you can't control. Now I think my favorite 4th generation female rapper is Jin Sol from Luna, and I also think Rijin from Minji is very good as well. When it comes to 4th generation female vocalists, I previously claimed Minnie from G-idol. I still love her hypnotizing and powerful voice, especially with her verses in Oh My God, Dumdy Dumdy, and Lion. However, now I feel like my new favorite 4th generation female vocalist is Songhee from Bandit. I love how rich and deep her voice sounds, and I think all of the members of Bandit in general are a group of diverse vocalists similar to BTS's and Red Velvet's vocalists. And the last opinion that I revoked was that my favorite 4th generation male vocalist is Dewi from AB6. I still feel like he has one of the most distinctive and unique vocals in K-pop, not even in just the 4th generation, mainly because even though he has a deeper voice, he still maintains a very light and feminine tone that sounds very androgynous similar to BTS's Jimin. But I'd say that my new favorite male 4th generation vocalist is Junji from Only One Of. I love how breathy and ethereal his vocal color is while, at the same time, sounding grounded and the furthest thing from hollow. Okay, now I will move on to some new opinions that I've recently developed. The first is that I don't like most K-pop pre-releases. Before we get started, I'm going to say that I don't have a problem with the idea of a pre-release to help bring hype and attention to a comeback before it even occurs. I actually think it's a very smart business strategy. The problem that I have with them is that the pre-release will tend to not have a similar concept to the actual comeback, or if there are multiple pre-releases, they won't have a similar concept to each other. I say this because a pre-release is supposed to give the audience an idea of what to expect of the group or soloist's actual comeback. But you can't do that if the concept of the pre-release is almost completely different from the actual comeback. In that case, you might as well just make it a separate single instead of a pre-release. An example of what I mean is BTS's pre-release with Black Swan for their comeback with UN. Black Swan had more of a dark concept while the actual comeback with UN had more of an epic coming-of-age concept. When they should have either had 2 dark concepts or 2 epic concepts. My next opinion is that the concept of uniqueness and versatility in K-pop is overrated. What I mean is that a lot of K-pop stans will try to use the fact that their group came out with a more unique and original concept, or the fact their group can pull off multiple concepts well, as a way to uplift their faves and bring down other groups. However, in my opinion, it's perfectly fine if a group is doing concepts like cute, bright, girl crush, boy crush, and dark concepts, which have all been done before hundreds of times. It's also okay if a group sticks to a specific concept that works for them and doesn't want to experiment and branch out to other ones. I feel K-pop stans often want and expect their faves to start the next big trend in K-pop, when most of the time groups can feel satisfied with doing things that have already been done before. My third new opinion is that I like Chungha's newer music. The reason I'm saying this is because lately a lot of K-pop fans have been saying that Gotta Go or Snapping was her peak, and that her new releases with Stay Tonight and Play were underwhelming. I personally highly disagree with this statement, because Stay Tonight is one of my favorite releases of 2020, but I understand how someone might not like the chorus because of its more deep house instrumental. For Play, I agree that it wasn't one of her strongest releases and it was kind of underwhelming at first listen, but I love how powerful and energetic it is, and her vocals in the pre-chorus. My last opinion is that I don't understand girl group and boy group stans. I understand that both boy and girl groups both have their positives and negatives, but I think that by limiting yourself to only one gender, you are limiting yourself to all the great music that the other has to offer. For example, a lot of girl group stans tend to say the reason they don't stan boy groups is because they quote-unquote lack diversity in concept. I'm like, I don't know what boy groups you've seen, but there are multiple boy groups that are arguably just as diverse as Red Velvet, such as 17, BTS, and GOT7. And for boy group stans, they tend to say that they prefer boy groups because they think their choreographies are better. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. Just because a choreo is technically challenging doesn't make it good. A good choreo is a choreo that matches the song well. For instance, What Is Love by Twice's choreography is good because it matches the song well. And even if you personally have a preference for harder choreographies, there are multiple girl groups that can give you what you need, such as Luna, Bandit, ITZY, and CLC. Okay, so this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching. If you would like to purchase a personal astrology or tarot card reading from me, click the link in the description below for you to purchase one. If you would like to see me talk about current K-pop drama, or simply DM me a private question you have about one of my videos, here is my Instagram. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and remember to stay snatched.